San Francisco International Airport. I'm stuck here for 7 hours, so we're going to visit and review every terminal on foot. I've come up with a scoring rubric for this, where I'm going to count the number of restaurants, I'm going to find USB chargers, and then I'm going to check Wi-Fi speed. I'm going to check for desk chargers, like desks that have chargers on them. I'm going to count the number of moving walkways. I'm going to count the number of bathrooms, and then I'm going to give a subjective ambiance score. Speaking of ambiance, actually though, they are really good about having compost everywhere. Shout out to San Francisco for that. This right here is International Terminal G. This is the first of the 5 terminals we're going to visit. Next we'll do Terminal 3, then 2, then 1, and then conclude at International Terminal A. So to start off, there are 2 restaurants down there, so off to a decent start, especially to have them that far down. Power outlets, USB chargers are here as well. There are 4 moving walkways at this terminal. The architecture is kind of a late 90s, early 2000s international aesthetic type of thing. So it doesn't feel that distinct, but the ceiling is tall, it's really bright, so can't really complain. I got the first restrooms over there. Women's, men's, and then there's a family restroom. That's good. No gender neutral restroom though. Coming up on some more shops. Another restaurant, that's 3. That's 4. I don't know if I should count the markets, because you can buy food at them, but it's not like a restaurant. We're not going to count the markets. Markets don't count. The whole airport has pretty good passenger information. Oh, and look at this. That's fun. It's a light. I love the moving walkways. More bathrooms over here. So that's 2 sets of bathrooms. Oh, is that 3? There's more over there. Okay. Scoring highly with the bathrooms. Another restaurant. And then we get to the part of international terminals where they have a bunch of designer brand stores and Napa Farms Market. I can't imagine that you're a person who would be buying a luxury good and you would just buy it at a whim at an airport. That just is insane to me, but maybe that's socioeconomically revealing. We can't forget to do a Wi-Fi speed test. Wow. Wait, that's actually really good. That's amazing. All right, Terminal G scoring very strongly on the Wi-Fi front. Terminal G just has 1 wing, so it's not huge. And unfortunately, they don't have any of the desks with outlets. All right, I didn't actually check the downstairs area. And in Terminal A, which is basically a mirror of Terminal G, they did. So I'm gonna up this to a maybe. Those are really nice for when you're gonna sit down and do anything really. Now, the next phase of this is gonna be less fun. So we just walked all the way along here. But this area of Terminal 3 is closed for renovation and you have to walk all the way around. So if you were a normal person, you were going to one of these places, you can't. And you know, obviously that's just construction, but it makes my walking route even more insane. So we're gonna do that, but that was Terminal G. It just says International Terminal, but then G gates here. Their naming is not the most consistent, at least I found. So we're gonna take a very long walk through the temporary around the way section, which you access over here. Follow this sign for A, B, C, D, E, F gates. That's where the rich people or the business people go. I feel like I didn't have a grasp of how dirty American escalators are until I saw escalators in Japan. So here you can see this is all part of the permanent normal part, but then off to the side, there's the temporary structure we're gonna walk through. And there's a plane. This one's for you plane foamers. So maybe you can get through. I'm not sure, but we're going to Terminal 3. So into the weird abyss we go. It's got art on it to try to make this less miserable. Still pretty liminal. We got some nice views of the plane out here, but it's pretty liminal. I mean, it's a temporary structure. What do you want from it? I just realized I forgot to give the International Terminal G a subjective ambiance score. My subjective ambiance score is going to be a 6 out of 10. It's got almost all the facilities you could want, but there's nothing really bringing it above like a good enough as far as vibes go. Like the ceilings are tall enough for me to not hit my head, but not really like tall enough to have any sort of a cathedral effect or like feel like a nice place to be. And the architecture's a bit dated, but overall, fine. Really, like, I mean, compared to other airports in America, like flying out of Boston Logan or JFK in New York, yeah, it's a lot better. They try to make it more fun by having colorful lights in the middle. I don't know, it just feels weird. Here's some of the construction going on. And just like that, we arrive in the middle of this branch of Terminal 3. All right, time to start our review. All right, for starters, the ceiling in that part is really low. The architecture is all dated. The floor is all carpet. So I am gonna do the subjective ambiance score last, but it's not looking good. This terminal also feels really empty and almost abandoned. But you know, we gotta explore everything on this journey. Haven't seen any bathrooms yet, or any desk areas either. It's not looking good. We have the weird designer stores that airports have that I just can't imagine anybody ever using. All right, now to start the restaurant counter. Well, I think we'll count that. That's one restaurant. That's like a wine bar. I don't know if that counts. And then this is the proper restaurant, it looks like. I've never in my life eaten at one of those. I can't imagine a scenario where I would do that. But life's full of mystery, who knows? All right, found our first restrooms. That's good. Men's and women's room, no gender neutral. Yeah, you know, I said the architecture was dated in that other one. This is like 80s into 90s. Really an unfortunate period for architecture in many ways. Is that a restaurant? Do we count this as a restaurant? Curated provisions. No, okay, they're not preparing food. Notably 2 moving walkways, so that's good. Another restaurant there. It's pretty sparse on the bathroom count, so that's not great. Even the art knows that this place is a void. All right, now we're gonna look for USB chargers. That's our next test. None of these places have them. Oh, we got one.
We got one, baby! We got one!
I checked, and there are no desks, so no USB desk score. But that means it's time for our Wi-Fi review. Oh my. Oh, this is fast. Wow. All right, that was better, I think. This feels like there should be seating up there or something. Like, that feels like a deck, and like I want to go up to it because it feels like a deck, but I'm not totally sure. Well, actually, I am totally sure that you can't, and that kind of sucks. I don't know if I counted this one yet, but I think they're preparing stuff there. That's a restaurant. Restaurant. This one has a lot of restaurants. And this just, the ambiance here is bad. It's just not good. Those are some of the F gates. There's more F gates this way. Oh, and there's 2 more, there's restrooms there, men and women. And it looks like there's a women's room here and a men's, okay, yeah. Another round of restrooms. So each wing has 1 restroom and there's a restroom in the middle. And it looks like this wing has no services, which is not ideal. By the services, I mean restaurants, I realize, because restrooms wouldn't count as a service. It's really dark in here. The architecture is not very good, so my subjective ambiance score is gonna have to be a 4 out of 10. It's just not it. And now more funny walkway. It's really green, and this one's really blue. And all right, now arriving at Terminal 2. Turns out this is not actually Terminal 2. These are the E gates of Terminal 3. Off to a much better start here. Way taller ceiling. We're kind of closer to the security concourse area. Terrazzo floor, so that's better than the carpet. Got our first restaurant, Burger King. And our first restroom as well. Pete's Coffee. The designer stores for some reason. I really like the light bars. It kind of reminds me of Tron. Super cool angular elements. Are they preparing food at the gastropub? I think that counts. We'll count that. I like this big art spread. Now we're gonna go check out this wing. Ooh, okay, this is nice. Good tall ceiling. It's not as bright as I would want it to be. All right, another restroom. Expensive sunglasses. I don't. Bar and grill, that counts as a restaurant. Got a little hub here. Preparing food, this one. Preparing food at Urban Tortilla. Urban, why did I say it like Gru? Urban Tortilla. That looks like the preparing food. Nice seating areas. You heard the deep sigh because it's a desk, but no USB. It's got to be a desk and USB, so they get maybe a half point. The desk is good, but you need the USB. I really like the variable height desk. I think that's a good idea. Here's some more plane foaming. I don't know what the plane foamers do. You can only foam so many things. I really like the colors here. I think the color on this brick tile-y thing, it's tile, it's not brick, but it looks like brick. It's really nice. Maybe because it reminds me of Callus Colors. Public art? What is this? Interesting. Do you walk on it? I feel like it should move, but I don't really know. Comment if you know. There's no moving walkways, which is a bit of a letdown, but it's time for our Wi-Fi speed test. Not as good. Maybe it's because there's more people, or because I'm walking, but I feel like you should be able to walk and have it still work, which of course it is. Not bad.
I'm going to rate the E-Gate separately because they feel so different from the rest of Terminal 3. I didn't check for USB plugs in there, so who knows? I'm sure they're there, but I can't say for sure. And then the subjective ambiance score was an 8 out of 10. This part was very nice.
This in here is one of the things that I think SFO does really well, where they utilize the corridors that you would otherwise just have as a transitory space and turn into a dwelling space. Like, you've got these great views of the planes, the plane foamers, and it's wide, it's well air conditioned, there's comfortable seats here, there's waste baskets. It's altogether a really good use of the space, and the design work they did here is really great. It's super bright and pleasant. All right, we're coming up on another really cool thing that SFO does, where they have little museum areas. So if you're like me and you're stuck for 7 hours, you can walk around and look at different pieces of history. In this case, it's a bunch of old photos brought to you by the San Francisco Arts Commission. So it's just another great way to make this transitory space into a dwelling space. And I think that's really cool. Now this is actually Terminal 2, and it's even better. Tall ceiling always does it for me. That's always a good thing. Oh, now we're getting to the really nice part. This is where they have the water fillers. These are super good, especially because they have San Francisco tap water, which is the best tap water on the planet. I will fight anyone on this. I'm so certain of that. I've never been anywhere with better tap water. I don't think it's possible. Vino Polo, do they have food? I don't know. I think they have food. All right, we'll count it. That counts. That looks like food. Again, with the luxury brand places. Chocolate store. Ooh, more art about San Francisco and like history, and it's like a museum. That's really cool. Iconic San Francisco buildings. Another restaurant. Restrooms. Then it opens up. This is not as architecturally interesting. Like, I feel that this is missing art, you know, because the other places have it. They're raising the bar. Restaurant. We're gonna count Pete's as a restaurant. We got another set of bathrooms. That's another point right there. All right, this is a good time to see if there's tables with USB outlets, because that is the gold standard. I'm feeling good. We might just get it. None here, but oh, yes. We did it. We got them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
But now are there USB chargers at the chairs? And I don't see any. This terminal probably has the best vantage point for plane foaming, but it has dots. I'm surprised that there aren't any USB chargers at the benches themselves, given that I was even able to find a USB charger at a desk. I don't know if we've counted this one yet, or this one. Looks like food prep is occurring. So they have another Pete's, but it's closed. Another round of restrooms, another food prep place. I might actually eat at this one. Alaska Airlines gave us a meal voucher for $12, which is ridiculous in these times, but you know, it's better than nothing. So Shout out to Priscilla at Burger Joint for helping enter this, making it work. These things are always complicated. But now is a good time for our speed test. While we wait, impressive. Nice. I found a nice spot to eat. I guess that would be spot to eat at. I'm not eating the spot. That would be weird. It's big. That's a substantial burger. Solid. They advertise making the fries in peanut oil, and they're quite good. All right, successful meal. Time to get on the move. Composting is not hard, and all of you just need to get over it. I can't remember if I counted it, but another round of restrooms.
Sadly, there were no moving walkways, so no points there.
And with that, we're going to say goodbye to Terminal 2. I think we're still going with Terminal 2. Or this one definitely is Terminal 2. The question is whether Gate C will count, because they're their own little like spire. Yoga room. It's a yoga room. And then my subjective ambiance score for Terminal 2 is going to be a 9 out of 10. I thought it was quite good, but there were some moments that I felt like weren't pushing it to that 10 level of like a big empty space that could have had an art piece in it. That would take it up to a 10, but overall, really, really good. Feeling a little more liminal in this one. Oh, here's a bench. I like this little alcove area. This is nice. Really sunny. This is for you plain filmers. Disappointing American vending machines. Disappointing compared to the ones in Japan. God, nothing makes me miss those like American ones. They were so good in Japan and they suck so much here, and it's so sad. Okay, now we're gonna go down to the Gate C bathroom. Delta Sky Club, for what that's worth. Looks to be some food services down here. And this is definitely dated. This feels a little bit like the Santa Ana Bob Hope Airport, but food, more food. Oh, I flew out of here recently. Kind of recently. I suddenly remember that. Another bathroom, 2 bathrooms down this one little corridor. That's pretty good. Another restaurant, but it's closed. I don't know if Dog Patch is food prep, but I feel like it maybe is. All right, there aren't any USB chargers under the seats, which is not good. There are these desk areas, but no USB chargers there either, so not getting those points. All right, and then for subjective ambiance, I'm gonna give this a 5. I think it's a little bit less than the other international terminal we went to, the G Gates.
As you can see, there are no moving walkways, so no points there. And I forgot to do a Wi-Fi speed test, so
I guess we'll never know.
I will confess to having started out in Terminal 1. That was where my flight was supposed to leave 6 hours ago now. And I wandered all the way to Terminal G before I started shooting anything. Okay, looks like that was part of Terminal 1. Anyway, we're here. My gate was here. That was where I was supposed to leave from, but that obviously hasn't happened yet. I like the little plane illustrations on here. I think that's cool. And they show the different sizes of the jets too. That's fun. Definitely that part is Terminal 1, the B gates of Terminal 1. And then those are the A gates of International, not Terminal 1. They don't say that, which is a little confusing. This desk space is really good. They've got all the outlets you could dream for, so definitely checks that box. Oh, and then here we go. USB and regular charger under the benches and in the center console. Really good stuff. So this here is the newly renovated Harvey Milk Memorial Terminal. I think it's still newly renovating. The ceiling is super tall. This is like a 3-4 story ceiling right here. This is amazing. This is a fantastic, fantastic terminal. Marketplace, food, Lego store. It's insane to me that there's a Lego store here. Restaurant, San Francisco tourist shop, airplane supply things, more restaurant, Alaska Lounge. I'm flying on Alaska. I wonder how I could finagle my way into there without actually being allowed. Restaurant. Oh wait, no, we're not counting that because it's prepared. But the Illy Cafe, I think they make food, counting that. Very San Francisco, weird and cool art. The whole ceilings are so high, and that's really nice. Oh, we get moving walkways. These are so fun. Yeah, this is really cool. It's a light in the shape of an airplane wing. That is awesome. Nice art over there as well. Lots of seats, lots of desks. I think most of these have USB chargers under the bench areas, which is amazing. That is the new standard in my opinion. Watch your step. Bit short on restrooms though. I'm realizing that this one here is the first one that I've seen in a while, or that I've noticed. I think there was one back there I might have missed. This place is really good. I like their food. I had a egg chicken sandwich this morning from them. More kind of like wing shaped stuff here, and another restaurant. And louvers. Look at them. I love these things. Waste baskets. A little like kids play area. That's awesome. And more restaurant, market area. But yeah, this is wonderful. All this very bright sunlight coming in, blinding me a little bit. Cool light up art. You see like how this kind of fills in the big void. Water fountains right by the gate too. Hot water, awesome. Yeah, this is terrific. And I actually just noticed there's another bathroom here, which is great. Time for our Wi-Fi test. Wow. Impressive. All right, pretty darn good. In case I didn't get them earlier, restrooms. It includes a gender neutral one, which is really cool. All right, well, I mean, we have to go in. Come on. That's cool. Not the strongest selection from the Lego Icon series or any of the other big, like adult-oriented models, but still wild and funny that it's here. More food. Really impressive altogether. Nice implementation of the airplane wing motif throughout this. I think that's a really, really nice touch where it's on theme, but it's not tacky. This particularly is giving Zaha Hadid in a way that is tripping me a little bit. Well, that's gonna be an obvious 10 out of 10 for subjective ambiance. Very good. That's just amazing. Maybe my favorite aesthetically airport terminal I've ever been to, although I haven't been to too many, so take that with what it is. This is fun. This is nice. It's cool that stuff like this is here. That is a big old plane. I read the thing on the side and it says that it's a Boeing 777. And then there's Frontier. Tough. There's a dude with an instrument really adding to the ambiance. Only in San Francisco. I love it here. And now we leave Harvey Milk and we head up to the International Terminal. But Terminal A, or at least International Gates A. Ooh, look. Airbus A380 spotted. A380s, plural. I think that's another one behind it, the Virgin something. All right, here we are. Again with the luxury brand places for no reason. I can't imagine anyone, like, why would you do that? But we are here now. And it looks like we're gonna have 2 moving walkways. That's fun. Every time I see her, I know it's Hermes or whatever, they want me to say it, but I won't. It always makes me think of Hermie the elf.
Herbie doesn't like to make toys.
Now the international terminals are interesting because you saw we went up instead of escalators to get here. And that's because the boarding actually happens a layer down. And I think that's probably because of how big the planes are, but sound off if you know the actual reason.
All right, I thought about it, and the actual reason is because of customs. Customs occurs down there when people get off the planes. That's the real reason. Anyway,
makes really interesting layouts. I don't know if that's food prep. I think it's all made ahead of time, so I don't know if we can count it. This looks really congested, so I don't want to go to it. International terminal time. Restroom check. This looks like a gender neutral. It must be the Emirates Club. Maybe the British Airways Club. Again with the luxury, there's more luxury stores in here. It's crazy to me that there's more luxury stores than food places so far. That's nuts. Like, how is the demand for Coke this high? But there's some food. News stand. A little play on news stand, I suppose. How clever. I think you prepare food there. We'll count that. All right, we got another bathroom. We have a Gott's Roadside, which maybe I should have gone there. They're really good. And then Valencia Station. That's also looks like food. And then we'll go down here so that we can get a chance to see what the actual gates are like.
I forgot to say earlier, but there are 4 moving walkways.
And then we descend even further. Wow, we are deep in it. More restrooms. That's great. And they've got the USB outlets here. But do the desks have it? That's the question. And they do. That's fabulous. Now it's time for our Wi-Fi speed check. Wow. Oh my gosh. Jesus. This is probably more of a reflection of there being very few people here, but this is not a scientifically sound test, so that's they get number 1 for that for sure. My goodness.
International Terminal A gates are basically the same as Terminal G gates, so it gets the same subjective Albion score of a 6 out of 10.
Well, that's gonna have to do it for this one. Other Andy will come back with the score now.
So this video exists because I was trying not to lose my mind during a major travel delay, and not really for any other reason. I recognize the flaws in my data collection methods and that the data collected is not very useful, but that's really not the point. Terminal 1 is the obvious winner, but the real winner here is SFO for being a very nice airport. I was lucky that SFO was the airport that I happened to be stuck in, because there are many airports out there that would have been much less pleasant to be stuck in.
Update, the plane is so delayed. There were like 4 people getting on. I'm gonna see if I can't get the big seats at the front if they have them.
So I asked the flight attendant if I could sit in the front, and he said no. Class traitor behavior, honestly.
They're not letting me sit in the front, which I think is ridiculous, but they did give me Mediterranean tapas. That's something.
But yeah, it's empty, and I'm still back here because
We have to make sure that the poor people feel poor, I guess.